Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we back. You know, I have not done a live in a minute. I was like, you know what? I'm walking back home. I said, screw it, let's do a live. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? What up? What's gooch? Just wanted to chat up. I actually wanted to invite some people onto the call. If you had any questions about what to do, why to do it, whatever. And let's chat, bro. Like, I just love chatting with people and I love, giving some advice and whatever. It's my boy Camavinga. What's up, G? What up, G? What up? What up? What up? And I got Profe in here. I got freaking Arteta in here. Que paso, Ten Hag? Hey, my dog. Nah, man, listen. Just again, like I said, I want to just kind of touch base. It's been a minute since I've done a live and whatnot, and I do want to invite somebody in. If you're a parent and you have questions in regards to like development or whatever you want to ask, dude, I'm down to answer. And I was just at the United Futsal event, which is awesome, by the way. I really enjoyed their tournament for, I guess, 6 days. And a lot of fun, a lot of good level play, and just some general stuff I want to talk about. So, and somebody's asked, I saw in the comments, yeah, I'm in Orlando, bro. I live in Orlando, so I'm in Orlando, Florida. That's where I'm at, G, Orlando, Florida. But listen, for real, I do want to invite, a parent in here. If you guys want to do, have questions. So like what I mean by invite is I'll bring you on to the live. You ask questions, you do what you want to do. And call me. Oh. So here's the thing, like this thing I want people to take away. Like I have my own organization. I call a lot of stuff out. This is the first thing I want to talk about at least. And listen, I am not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect in this country. We have pay to play. Pay to play isn't the problem. And I put this in my last video. Pay to play is not the problem. Not the problem. The problem is the value you get back from pay to play. What is it? And, for example, most places will charge you $3,000 a year. And sorry, I don't really have a voice, man. I lost my voice. And they'll charge you $3K a year. But then the value you get back is $10. Like the math does not add up of what you're getting. So you're paying $3K for training and fees and blah, 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 whatever. And then the value you get back is almost nothing. So like the math doesn't make sense. And that's just the thing. So because there's people that have pay to play and they're able to develop kids. But again, that's a very small percentage. So the value that you get back is not good enough. So, and somebody just asked, how is pay to play not the problem? Well, I just explained it to you. If you were getting value for your money, it's not a problem. But, the thing that you don't realize is somebody has to pay for it. So if you're not paying for it, the club's paying for it. And that's what, international clubs around the world are doing, or they're subsidizing the fee to a high percentage. It's not like it's a small fee, it's a big number. So like professional academies in Europe, it's free. Or, if they're a lower tier club, it's like $250 for the year. So they have compensation for formation. We do not. What does that mean? That they take the risk of developing a player, and if that player makes it, they receive compensation for that. It's more broad than that. I'm just giving you a very specific and minute detail. Like it's very little. So listen, man, it's hard. Like I can't tell you anything else other than it's hard as hell, and people don't understand that. Like there are places that do have pay to play, but at least they're bringing value back to you, and they do help your kid get somewhere. So most places charge you $3,000 for the year, but they provide you $10 worth of value. Well, that's the problem with pay to play. So when I say pay to play is not the problem, you can develop with pay to play. The problem is that most parents don't put pressure on the organizations to develop. Why? Why? Because the clubs know that you believe you need them. So if you need them, why would they do anything else to help you? That's what you don't get. Uh-oh. Sorry, hold on. So I'm going to say that again. The clubs that are in pay to play, like the cash cows, I always talk about it, the cash cows, they know you need them. So they don't need to do shit for you, pardon my French. So if you need them, they don't have to do anything for you. But if it was flipped, if they needed you, they would have to provide you more value. And I think that's what people don't understand, the whole value concept. Charge the service. You pay for other things. You pay for internet. You pay for food. That's a service or a product for value. And yeah, honestly, the alarm going off for real. Do I think the NA... You talking about the new league that just changed from MLS Next? Jesus Christ, but you need me to talk about this again? I've said it multiple times. I think MLS Next and ECNL are a joke. 100% joke. I would never recommend any player to go play ECNL or MLS Next if you're not in an MLS Academy or the NAL, whatever the hell they call it now. It's all a cash grab because they know that you want to have a badge on your shoulder that says you're the shit. Pardon my French. Again, I lost my voice from this tournament. So that's the honest truth, and that's my opinion. You may not agree with it. That's cool. It's not a problem. That's just how I see and how I feel about it. Because again, do the math. Do the math. How many kids from your club that you play for that have a badge that is not an MLS Academy? So an MLS Academy, by the way, is free, where you get benefit from it. So like, how many players are moving on to the next level? College and or pro? And I think the answer, you guys know the answer, is nothing. And I'm supposed to be walking, yet I'm not allowed to walk. 1 second. I would love to be able to actually walk because I'm supposed to be able to walk. And I am not allowed to walk. Very annoying. Hold on. Going through. Hopefully I can walk now because I need to be able to walk. Thank you. Anyway, so that's my opinion, bro. If it's not an MLS Academy, an MLS Academy is directly connected to the first team of a professional MLS club, it's not worth it because they're paying you, you're being charged a buttload of money to have a badge on your shoulder that tells you you're the shit. But really, you're a second tier, third tier, fourth, no, not even second, I apologize. It's third or fourth because if you play in an area that has an MLS Academy and you're not on one of those teams, you're third string. You're third string. Like, I don't think people understand that. If, let's say, okay, I live in Orlando, right? There are technically three MLS Next, or whatever they're calling them now, NALs, that are very close to Orlando City Academy, right? Cool, got that. So, Orlando City Academy has a couple age groups. Let's talk about two primary ones. They have U15 and U17. Evening, sir, how are you? And so let's say you play for one of the MLS Next pay-to-play systems, right? I'm not going to use any names, but let's just go with that. And let's say you're playing at the U17 level. Just again, number. Well, okay, you're not at Orlando City Academy. They have like 28 guys. That's 2 teams, by the way. And if you're not on that squad, that means you're on another MLS Next squad. You are third tier at a minimum third tier. So then at that point, do you really think college coaches are going to be watching you? Let's say you want to go to college. Okay, probably not, one. But then you're going to say, well, they have these showcases where you get to go play in the MLS Next showcase. Cool. You do, you're right. You get exposure. I love this word. The buzzword. The buzzword created by all these organizations to get you to join them. The buzzword of exposure. Yeah, I'm going to say this again. I put this in a video. There's a difference between exposure and being exposed. What's the difference? Exposure means that you're going to an event where there are college coaches. Yeah, that's exposure. But there's a difference between that and being exposed. Being exposed means they're actually watching you. And people don't understand this difference. Just because a college coach is at an event and he's at your field watching your game does not mean he's actually watching you. He's already watching somebody else. So for you to catch that person's eye, so to speak, you better be unbelievably good, or otherwise you're not going to go there. And this gets lost in translation all the time. And you don't have to believe me, but when your kid doesn't make it because you didn't listen, don't say I didn't warn you, because what you guys don't understand is I went through this shit. Like, you don't understand. I did this already. I learned all this stuff. I went to the DA showcases. I had 300 college coaches at one of my games. And you know how many actually watched me because I didn't talk to any of them before? 0. They don't watch you unless you're just an unbelievable standout. Like, that's what people don't get. Yeah, they think it actually means something. And it's just a big problem that happens all the time. Like, it's just so infuriating. People say, well, I need to be in this because my son needs to get exposure. Yeah, are you already talking to the college coaches? Yes or no? No. Okay, well, then your kid's not going to get squat unless he's an absolute standout. Man, I love this. This is awesome. That's cool. And people just, it bothers me, bro, because I'm like, they say, oh, well, Kyle, you don't know what you're talking about. You think I don't? I've done it. I've been through it. I was in the DA when it first came out. They promised you all this bullshit. And you don't get squat, bro. They don't do nothing for you. Except you get to play in front of a bunch of coaches that if you're not contacting already, you're getting nothing out of it, dude. It's just like, I mean, I just wish you guys would wake up, because like, I understand that it's not your fault, parents, but it is your fault. And my parents did the same shit, by the way. They didn't know. So we got taken advantage of. Here, I'll give you a different example. All right, again, talking about college recruiting. When I was, I think, a junior in high school, I think it was a junior. So, you know, right before senior year, 1 year before, how do I explain this to you? I did the West Virginia camp, West Virginia University. Do you know how much money my parents dropped on that? Twice, by the way. I went twice the same year. $500 for a 3-day camp, twice. You know where I didn't go? West Virginia University. Didn't go. And they actually sent me an email shortly after those 2 camps. Hey, Kyle, thanks for coming. We're not interested in you anymore. Yeah, but they got me to pay them $1,000 because because they said they were going to recruit me because they sent me a thing to go to their camp. Yeah, you guys fall for all that marketing bullshit all the time, and it's unbelievably stupid. And I went through it, so I know. I understand the process. I'm trying to help you guys avoid those mistakes. So that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. It's hard. Like, trust me, I get it. There's no perfect path. But, yeah. So those are the main points I want to talk about. What age should we be contacting coaches? Freshman year. Start that process ASAP. In fact, I've told you guys this already. I have all my online programs I used to charge a lot of money for free, dude. You can grab all of them for free. I have an entire college recruiting program. Even a book. If you want the book, I'll send you the book. Whatever. Free. Actually, I need to make a link for that. Free. Dude, I walk you through every single step that you need to make to get to college. Like, I walk you through that whole thing. And I want you guys to take advantage of it. Sorry, man, I'm trying to get in a decent spot and sit down for 5 minutes. Hold on. So, I'm trying to help you guys. Like, I used to make money off this stuff, and I'm like, dude, like, there's such a lack of education that people don't have, and it's a problem. Like, I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just give it away for free and help people make better decisions. So, like, if you want that course, bro, I have the whole thing for free. It'll walk you through every single step of college recruiting. It's called 28 Actions. It's my masterclass. I'll send it to you for free, or you can download it for free and get access and learn about college recruiting. And I mean, you guys have no excuses. If you don't take action on this course, don't be calling me saying, well, Kyle, I don't understand. Like, my kid didn't go to college, because you didn't educate yourself. And that's what I'm trying to make free for you guys, is the education process. That at least the content that I have is free. Footwork, education, college education, development plans for home. If you guys don't take advantage of that stuff, don't blame anybody else, because most people won't. So hold on, I'm gonna put it here. In my bio link, 100% free courses. So hold on 1 second. And then actually, by the way, guys, too, before I forget, a couple of things. First one is I put all of my thoughts. I have Threads now as well, and I have Twitter. Every single thought that I have, I put them there. So if you want to see any of the thoughts that I have, go there and get access to it ASAP, because I'm just posting stuff that I see and I think about. So all my thoughts, it's like my brain piece. Go get it. But yeah, so in my bio link, you can grab everything I have 100% free today. And I used to charge hundreds of dollars for this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? It's not life-changing for me, but what can I do to help people get better and understand processes and what they need to do and the commitment and stuff? And this is what I'm doing to help you guys. It's all free now. So, yeah. All right, so I want to invite somebody into this call and answer any of your questions that you have about your kids specifically that I can help answer. So put a message down below if you want to be in the call, and we can have a conversation in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. And I can try and help you. So don't send me a request. I don't want you to send me a request to be on my live. Put down below in the comment that you want in and what you want to talk about, and I'll invite you in. What's my opinion on the NCSA? Dude, you don't need any platform for college recruiting. If you take my course that's free, you can learn every single step and action that you need to make to get somewhere, if that makes any sense to you, because I'm giving you the entire tools to get to college. I can't promise you'll get to your dream school. Like, for example, if you want to go to UCF, I can't promise that. But what I can tell you is I'm giving you a platform to have success with my online courses where you don't need to pay an outside organization. I'm giving you this for free. So I don't know why you wouldn't take it unless you just don't trust me, which is fine. You don't have to trust me. But I have nothing. I'm not selling you anything. You can go get it for free. Just take it. And I spent hours putting this stuff together. I mean, I have probably of all my online courses, 200 hours of content free that you can go get today. And I don't know why you wouldn't, except that you don't want to educate yourself, which would just not make sense. So I would do that. So again, I want somebody to jump on this call, this live with me, and we have a conversation. Like, I want to do that. So I want to help somebody. Who wants help? When is a great time, age-wise, for a player to take soccer seriously? I mean, I don't think there's a hard and fast rule. I think players should always be serious if they want to do something. That would just make sense, right? But I mean, it really starts ramping up at 12, and then it ramps up again, I'd probably say, at U14 or U15. And then it ramps up again at U17 and 16 if you haven't been a pro yet. So, yeah, I mean, just those things make a difference. What age should you start for college recruiting? College recruiting starts the second you walk into high school, in my opinion. And again, I have that in my online course. So if you're asking about college recruiting, go get my online course for free today. Like, go get it. Go to my bio link, go get it, and start. It will change your life, in my opinion. So I can't tell you much more than that, man, to be honest. If you want to learn about college, go get my online course. It's that simple. Somebody asked, can you talk about the value of ECNL and GA for good girls side? Not sure what other academy style options exist for families. So again, I don't know the girls side as well, but this is what I would do if I had a girl. In fact, I wrote my playbook. If you want access to my playbook, send me a DM and I'll send it to you. And it walks you through exactly what I would do if I had a girl or a boy. It's focused on boys, but it's essentially the same process for girls. It's just slightly different. But I'll tell you, if I had a girl and she got to 15 years old, or I should say when she got to 15 years old, I would put her to play against adult women. So I would join like the UPSL women or USL women or whatever other league they have if they want to go and try and become a professional or a college player. Because there's no environment in youth, in my opinion, that replicates that. It's just, it doesn't exist. Youth soccer is terrible for actually preparing a player for the next level. Again, college or professional. It's different. Like, perfect example, I made a tweet about this. And I put, the moment I walked into high school, I got into college at 18 years old. We were doing double sessions and video. So it's 3 sessions a day. You don't do that in youth soccer. You don't have 3 sessions a day. We're one of those, training or fitness, video, fitness. I mean, that's what it was. And there's nothing in youth soccer that actually prepares kids for that. So, yeah, I mean, that's it's a different beast, bro. Like, people don't get that. My son is doing futsal, and he just turned 9, is only doing futsal. When should he start regular soccer? So does somebody want to get on the live call with me and have a conversation? I want to answer your questions. So stop. I have like 5 people sending me a request. Put your question down below and tell me you want to join the live in a comment, and then I'll invite you in. It's just easier for me because I don't know who wants to be in these calls, and I just keep getting requests from people. Like, that's cool. You can send me a request. But I just want to help somebody that wants to have a conversation. I can answer any question I can. I don't know you very well. I don't know your kids, but I'll try and answer based on what I would do. There are many programs out there. What do you think is the best league? The best league would be the MLS Academy League, which is all the MLS academies. That would be the best youth. So, to answer your question, the best league would be the MLS Academy League, which is all the MLS academies. So, yeah, I mean, that's what the best league would be. If you can get in that league, that's where you're going to have the most success, almost guaranteed college and shot at becoming a professional. Okay, let me invite you in right now. Blonde Apple, I'm down. Hold on. Go live with Blonde Apple. Done. Blonde Apple.
Hi there. How's it going?
Hey,
Awesome.
I'm living the dream,
Good. I just want to
How about
say,
yourself?
first and fourmost, just I really appreciate your content and your transparency. It's been super helpful for us so far.
No problem. I just, I went through the whole thing and I realized there's a bunch of flaws to the system.
So my
and
name's
people aren't being
Jenny.
educated. What is your name? Jenny. Cool. Nice.
So we have
Nice to meet you.
two
So how can I
players
help?
that are 2012.
Oh, I cannot hear you anymore, Jenny. I'm
Do you
sorry.
got me now?
The audio dropped.
Okay. So we have
I
two
can't hear you now.
players,
Yeah.
2012, 2014 girls. They recruited last year just to play for kind of a local travel team, and then were sought out from an ECNL team thereafter. So, sorry, they're girls.
Boys or girls?
So, yep. So both of them
Girls, okay.
have real athletic kind of tendencies and are very driven and have skill level there. Within the tryout processes, they have to commit and throw the money down immediately. Like, you have 24 hours. Yes, of course. So that initially was kind of standoffish for us because we didn't even have the opportunity to try out for other leagues. And in the meanwhile, since we have committed to the ECNL team, we have been approached by teams that are girls academy status that are trying to give us scholarship to play for them instead of that. So we're not trying to be married to any particular league. We really want to make sure that we're keeping relationships kind of open and nurture them just so that we can see what the development is going to be. At this point, like, we sent checks in March and we have gotten absolutely nothing in return other than talking about more programs that we can do over the summer for supplemental. So for me, that's a red flag. Seeing that they've dissolved a team, that's a 2010, that's a red flag. To see that they're rostering 36 and sending 12 to the games. So I'm looking at it from a perspective of saying, like, how are we able to keep the door open for them to be able to continue building relationships and possibly guest playing. If it's we live in New England for context, so it's a little bit more concentrated for where the teams are and also sparse. Like, if you want ECNL, there's only 2 teams within the state. And then we have to go, actually, one of the teams that's trying to recruit us and give us scholarship for essentially going there for free would be outside of state. So at this age, because they are so young, like, do you feel like it's just, obviously this year we're going to play it out and see how it is in terms of development, but how can we make sure that we're getting connection to get the girls to guest play if that's an option for them? How would you have that conversation with the director?
Yeah. Okay. So let's start.
Correct.
I want to make sure I understand. So you said
And the
2012
2014 is playing up 2013.
Okay. So, I mean, the first thing is, I don't know their level, but the first thing I would tell you is make sure they're just complete beasts on the field. That would be the first thing. Because, again, you need to think longer term. At the end of the day, if they both say, hey, mom, hey, dad, I want to be a professional or play college, like, one kid on a team is going to make it. It has to be, it's going to be the person with the most network, one, and the best skills, long story short, like in a simple way. So to answer your question now in terms of guest playing, they have a platform, I think it's through Got Sport, where you can register for events as a guest player. So you don't even actually need to talk to anybody. But what I would do is, if I was a parent, I'm not, but if I was, I would try and build a network with a couple of coaches. That's the first thing you use, coaches, like with different organizations. Hey, my daughters are available to guest play at any time you need somebody. Like, we're here. And then they might not take you up on the first or the second offer, but with some time, like, for example, we just did this futsal tournament, and I had to bring in 2 guest players. I don't like taking guest players personally, but I did. I had to bring in a goalie and I had to bring a court player because we had a kid back out because he was hurt. So I had 2 people that I already knew that have reached out to me about guest playing. So I said, you know what? Okay, I'll bring them. Boom. So it's just, you know, you might not get it right away, but if you can build those little connections with coaches, I think that's the best way to guest play. You can talk to like directors of clubs and stuff, and they will probably use that as a promotional tool to try and actually
Right.
get you to join their club. That's what they do. But you know, you don't ever have to take it. And I always tell people like, okay, when a club comes to you and says, hey, you have 24 hours, you can, they'll always take you back in August or
Sure.
September or October. They always want your money. They don't care. So,
No, it does.
I don't know if that
It's
answers your
just we
question.
have a goalkeeper, so that's one of the things. So yeah,
Oh, well,
so
definitely a
so
priority position.
she's pretty sought after, but it's in terms of like talking to our director, like how am I approaching him to say
Yeah.
to make that opportunity, to keep that opportunity for them, because I am 99% certain without even having that conversation yet that the answer is going to be we don't want her to do that. So yeah, so
Of course
how am
not.
I to
Yeah.
kind of like, how would you lead that conversation to say like let's do this?
So I would try and pitch it as like any weekend they don't have games, I'd be like, hey, we're looking at opportunities from the guest play. And I, I mean, you can try and be direct like that, and then he can still try and say no, which of course they probably will, because that's what they do. They don't want you doing something else because they're going to say, oh, well, eventually you're going to leave to go to another club.
Right.
They think it's poaching, which is just bullshit. It's just what they say. So if I was in your shoes, I would probably go to the director. I don't know him at all, but I would be like, hey, you know, John, I'd like to talk with you. You know, we're always looking for our girls to play, and we'd like to have the possibility open for
Right.
guest play. And when we don't have events, like with our organization, I tell our parents, like, look, as long as we don't have something, you can go
Yeah.
guest play. We'll give you the permission.
100%.
Just let us know in advance. Because if you go and do it without us knowing, then
Right.
something could happen to the kid and we don't know about it. So that's my perception as a director. I can't tell you what somebody else's would
Sure.
be. A lot of them will say no just because they're assholes like that. But they don't have a reason to say no other than they're going to be like, oh, well,
Yeah.
they might try and poach.
Well,
And
that's their problem, not ours.
so,
Though, thank you. That does answer my question. The only other thing I did want to quickly ask, hopefully this is a fast question, but in terms of ODP and kind of using that as an, like, what are your thoughts on that? And if you've covered this before, just tell me to buzz off. Yeah,
how
I
honest do you want me to
prefer
be?
full transparency. That's why we watch you. So
Okay. So, I mean, ODP's been around since I was a kid, and in my honest opinion, it's only gotten a hell of a lot worse. I don't follow it too much, but I have done some research about it. Like, it used to be a direct connect to the national team programs for youth, and now they've come out, and you can see this on their Instagram page. They have ODP national teams. That just tells me they're completely, they're not relevant anymore in that sense. What I will say is, if you frame it in a different way and you say, hey, look, we can use it as an experience to help push our kids
Right.
in a sense of they don't know the coaches, they don't know the kids. Like, you can benefit from that way. But if you're looking at it from a platform of, hey, my kid's going to go somewhere, I don't think that's even possible anymore. I mean, there might be a smidge of an opportunity somewhere, but most parents say, oh, well, my kid's in the ODP program, he's going to get looked at. Bullshit. They're not. They're not the top program anymore for what it is. And again, do your own research. Go to their Instagram page, and you'll see. Like, I just checked not that long ago. They were at the Dallas Cup, which was in March or April, and they posted ODP national team. And I'm like, what
got it.
is that?
Nope. That's good intel. Nope.
So
Super helpful. All right. Thanks
helps.
for your time today. All right. Have a nice day.
Yeah, no problem at all. No problem. Have a good day. Bye-bye. All right, so if anybody else wants in, let me know. I'll do one more, help somebody out. If you have any questions about your kids, I'll do I'll try and tell you the truth and tell you what I know to help them get there. Oh, my dog Benji's in here. What's up, bro? I didn't even notice. The king himself. Yeah, people don't get this stuff. So I'm a youth leader. I like to discuss how to help these kids to get into one of those MLS academies. Oh, hold on one second. All right, somebody did send me a message. Hey, if you're a parent and you want help, again, I can't answer all of your questions, but I will give you what I would do, and I hope that helps. So if you want to jump on the live, just like Miss Jenny did, send me a message here in the comments, and I will put you in the live, and we can have a 5 to 10 minute conversation. I can try and help you out, because that's the most important thing in my opinion. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that's better. Like, I think what people don't understand is the system. One, has only gotten worse, but two, it's designed to fail you. Like, you're not supposed to make it out of the system. because there's no reason for you to, if that makes any sense. That might not make sense, but like there's no benefit of an organization helping you out. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Like you guys might think that because your kid's in MLS Next or NAL or ECNL that the club or people have to help you, but you're the person that has to build the network and has to market your kid. It's on you, the family, to do so. People just don't understand this, man. It's terrible. I'd like to connect. Okay to DM you. Please send me a DM. No problem. I try and help out as many people as I can. And again, like all my stuff I have online, I used to charge hundreds of thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands, other way, hundreds and thousands of dollars for it. It's all free now. Are the MLS academies, pre-academies worth it? Specifically, Rebels, there are maybe 48 players per year in the New York, New Jersey area. Allison, you want to jump on the live and then we can maybe have a further in-depth conversation? It's kind of hard to answer that question just from a text. I'd like to get more context. So if you want to jump on the live, we can, again, have a conversation and see if I can find a way to help you in a better context. Because I don't think that's enough information for me to actually give you a genuine answer. So hopefully that makes sense. So again, like I'm just trying to help you guys. Like you don't have to listen. Even if you just take a percentage of what I say, cool. You know, do what you can to help yourselves. That's what I tell people. It's about education. Knowledge is power. Otherwise, you're going to be screwed at some point. Like, let's put it to you this way. Nobody has to help you. Nobody. Like, people did not help me. I did have one coach that helped me, but like I'm saying overall, like nobody has to help you through this. Like you can be screwed all the way through and they will screw you, bro. Like that's what you guys don't understand. Like this is all a business first for 99.9%. And like, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like I have my own organization right here. I have my own right here. And here's the thing, like we have these conversations all the time and I'm the guy in charge of it in terms of how to operate it. I'm like, hey Kyle, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to do the right thing. I don't want to have an organization that just focuses on catching money. And again, we're not perfect. I can't tell you that we're perfect. We're not. But what I will say is I will always try to do the right thing, in my opinion, for what I believe the players need to do to develop to get to the next level. You may not agree with what I do, then that's okay. Then don't come to me. If you don't want to listen to my advice, that's cool. Like don't come to me. Like I used to be so concerned about parents leaving and whatnot. And I'm like, you know what now? If I'm not the place for you, I'm not the place for you. We shake hands and move on with our day. It's pretty easy for me. So great content. I got the opportunity to meet you at the United Futsal Tournament. What's up, Manny? How are you, bro? I appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. Again, I'm just trying to tell the truth, bro. Like that's it. It's just there's so much information that people don't have and don't know, and I feel bad for people, man. Like you guys are getting screwed. Sorry, I need water. You guys are getting screwed. You're getting milked. The cow's coming and you're getting milked, and it's just a shit show, man. But let me see. Can I get her? Allison, do you want to jump on the call or the live? More than happy to have you on, and then I can hopefully answer your questions in a more direct and honest way. Hill, bro, you keep sending me an invite to talk. What are we talking about? Let me know. Aye. So what up, man? What else we got talking on? Aye. It's unbelievable. Kyle, I can't join the live due to work, but in the playbook, do you discuss about the tryout or get to an MLS Academy? Good question. I do talk about in the playbook a little bit, but MLS Academies, I give my information, or not my information, my thoughts about it. And most of the time they don't have a tryout. If they're forming a new team, they may have a pre-academy tryout where you can be identified for something, if that makes sense. So like they'll have like an evaluation period where kids will come in and try out. But if they already have a team, there is no tryout. So what they do is they're scouting players, probably 3,000 to 10,000 players a year that they're looking at. And they're trying to find upgrades on their team or people that have potential value that they think they can develop. But what you guys do need to understand about MLS academies is this, or any academy really. So even in Europe, South America, right? Like the average is 1 or 2 kids. It's really 1, but let's say 2 to be generous. On that team will go on and become a professional. So the organization, the club, and I have this information because a very, very good friend of mine is the technical director of a professional, one of the biggest clubs in France. And, me and him talk all the time. So we're always discussing this information and people don't get it. But I'm going to explain it to you now. So in a professional academy that is free, there's 20 to 30 players, right? There's maybe 3 to 4 that they believe has the potential to actually become a professional. So let's just say there's 20 players. There's 2 guys that they believe have the potential to go on and become a pro, if that makes sense. So they're building the team around those 2 players to try and help set them up to become a pro. They may not make it, by the way, they might fold. And then there might be a potential of another kid progressing to a certain level. But they generally have the idea of who they think and know has the most potential to become a professional. And then that's, to answer your question specifically, it's done on evaluation. So if a player is good enough, they will invite you in for a tryout with the academy. I don't know if that answers your question, Shelby. I hope it does. So hope that answers your question. Let's see what else. The ODP stuff is crazy. I talked to a guy who said they moved from state teams to regional teams and so forth. I'm not exactly sure what that means, my friends. But yeah, they have usually like a district pool, or like the first step, then they have state pool, then they have region pool, and they have ODP national team, which is just crazy, to be honest. But welcome to America, my friend. It's all about the dollar bills. Like, what people don't understand, for me at least, like, dude, I'm okay with people making money. Like, make your money, but do the right thing and provide value back. Don't give value back. If somebody spends $3,000, don't give them a $10 value back. That just doesn't make any sense. So, yeah. But anybody else want a parent, if you want to jump on the live, you and me can have a conversation right now. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions that you have about your child, and I will do that right now. I want to help one more person right now. So if you want to jump on the live, write in the comment below, and I'll bring you in and we can chat for 5 to 10 minutes and talk about your son, your daughter, their process, and I'll give you my opinion. That's all I can do. Is there a UPSL equivalent for girls to play up at? Yes, they have UPSL women, and there's also now USL women. So there's 2 right there that would, be so-called equivalents. That makes sense. But come on, who wants to be a parent that wants to have a conversation? Don't be afraid. I'm not going to bite you. I'm just going to tell you the truth. And if you want to bring your kid on the call too, that's fine. And I'll answer any questions that you guys have. That's all I'm trying to do, man, is just help you guys. So if you have something you want to discuss, put it in the comment below and let's chat. I'll be more than happy to invite you in. Because I keep having people send me requests to be in, but I'm not going to accept your request to be in unless you tell me what you want to discuss about, so at least I can have an idea. And again, I'm looking for a parent and a player, or parent, can be parent and player, that wants some help with their questions. New to academy level soccer. My daughter is starting U9 in the fall, just looking for some guidance. So luckily lefty, if you want to have a conversation, we can. Talking about those 2 players that they think could be a pro, do they explain that for the parents? Do they explain that to the parents? Probably not. I don't think they tell the people who they think they're going to be pros, to be honest. I can tell you, I know that at the academy and my buddies club, they definitely don't, because they don't want that to get to the players' heads. They think, oh, I might become a professional. No, you got to earn it, bro. Every single day, earn it. Are you guys expanding high soccer to other parts of Florida, another area? Rocket Roman, I'm sorry. We have a organization in Texas as well that is high soccer. If you want to learn more about that, shoot me a DM and we can talk about it. Not a problem. More than happy to do so. And then Lucky, if you want, or Lucky Lefty, if you want to jump on the live, we can have a call and or have a conversation. We can do it. I have a 9-year-old that his passion is soccer, but sometimes after the match, he didn't want to take any advice or review the match from us parents. And he always thinks he is the best. I'm not sure what you want me to answer or say with that. That's pretty typical. I think most people think they're the best, right? Even at one point I thought I was the best. And I still think I'm the best, to be honest. So let me add this guy in. The only way you learn that you're not is by going through trial and error, I think. I mean, there's things that I realize that I need to improve a lot. It's just part of the business. All right, let's get Lucky in here. Let me try again this way. Lucky Lefty. All right, trying to invite Lucky Lefty in here. Let's see if it works. Should work. You never know, man. Technology. Lucky Lefty. Doesn't seem to be working. Hold on. Let me try again. Lucky Lefty New Academy. Go live. Let's try now. I tried this way. Let's see if that works. Yeah. Like you guys need to think about longer term plays, right? Like what is the goal that you're trying to achieve with your kid? We're seeming to have a problem here getting Luckily Lefty. It says unable to join. Maybe leave and come back if you don't mind. Lucky Lefty. Yeah, I would say jump out of the call, Lucky, and then see if we can get you back in another way. Let me know, my G. So, yeah. Any other questions, guys, that I can answer? Maybe Lucky will get back in. Let's see if this will work this time. Try. There we go.
There we go.
Done. He's at
Hey,
the
man, how's
field,
it going?
G. What up, dog? I live in
Pretty
paradise,
good.
bro. How about yourself?
Hot here in Georgia.
I feel you. I'm in Orlando.
My name's Brian.
What is your name?
You too.
Brian.
Yeah,
Nice
so
to meet you.
I've been following you for a little
So how
while
can I
now.
help?
I'm like I said, I'm new to the academy soccer. My daughter, she was playing rec last season, and she was dominating rec late. So I said I need to put her in something more competitive. So I brought her over here to the academy here, and she started and she did a tryout. Well, she didn't have to try out. They looked at her during practice, said she'll work good with the academy. So she's here now doing summer camp, and obviously in the fall she'll be starting with the season. So I haven't played soccer. I'm a football guy, so all of this is new to me. So I'm kind of just looking for a little bit of guidance as to what I need to be asking of the director or her coach to develop her. Long term, I just heard you say the long term game. So ultimately, I'm looking for her to get a scholarship. I mean, that's what the goal is for her if she wants to stick with it. But just trying to see what I need to be asking the coach to, hold them accountable and to, make sure we get our money's worth.
Good question. So, since you're just starting the journey, what I'm going to tell you to do is send me a DM, and I will send you my playbook. And it's just a collection of, right now it's tweets, but I put down exactly what I would do if I had a kid going through the system. And I put this together based on what I went through, one, and two, everything that I've learned, trained the next generation and professionals. So, like, I train professional players, and this is all stuff that we talk about. So I put through literally from the second they're born, or not from birth to becoming a professional. I kind of walk through exactly the steps that I would take at their general ages, and it's actually a long list of stuff. I'm going to actually make this book. I just put it all down on paper so people can go look at it very easily. So if you send me a DM, I will send that to you today. It'll take 3 seconds, and you can read the whole thing and then take what you need from it, and then we can have further conversation at least about that part. Because I think that will help you a lot. Like, I'm very descriptive. I break it down very well. I try and put as much information as I can, and I think that will give you a lot of food for thought. But if there's any other questions specifically about what you could be doing, I'll be happy to answer. I just think that will answer all of your questions.
One of the things I've been looking at is, it's probably in your playbook, but should I go ahead and start trying to find her private lessons and,
So, you said she's 8 or 9. What do they do?
What are they doing in training? Right now it's just, they're scrimmaging and I guess her summer camp, they're just doing some, cone drills and things like that.
So, again, I put this in the playbook. Basically, she's 8 years old. All she should be doing, in my opinion, is footwork. So, ball skills, we call it fundamentals, juggling, and 1v1. That would be it. And then you can do some coordination stuff. But, at their age, all they can really handle is ball and player. That's it. So like it's just, and again, like the thing is, you told me
Hmm.
you wanted to get a scholarship. Okay, so like this is what people don't understand in terms of getting a scholarship. It's going to be the person that has the best network and the best skills. Whatever combination of that will be the one that gets to go to college, one, and two, have a chance at getting a scholarship. Because it's the network that opens the doors, and that has to come from you and her. Because most clubs are not going to help in any way. They have like to give you context. Like for example, I try and help kids go to college and be pros. Like I don't get a dollar out of it.
Right.
I just do it because I care. So if you relate that back to clubs like cash cows as an example, they have absolutely zero incentive to help your daughter go somewhere. Zero. Like they're going to lose the revenue from you, and all they can do is post on social media that your daughter wins somewhere. That may or may not be an indirect way for them to gain more revenue, but they're going to look at it most of the time from a short-sighted perspective and say, well, I'm not going to get anything out of it by doing this
Right.
other than lose money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that make sense? So the whole networking thing is literally on you and your daughter when she gets older. And I said this earlier. I recommend you download. I have a college recruiting course, actually two of them, but one that literally is very specific in terms of college recruiting, and it will walk you through what to do from freshman year to
Okay.
senior year and beyond. So I would get that, and you get it to my
Okay.
bio link today for free.
All right.
So
Yeah, that helps out a
and I
lot,
hope
man.
that helps.
I'll check out the link, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, yeah, man, no worries, man. If you need something else,
No, I
any
think
other
that's it for
questions?
now.
Cool, bro. Yeah, just shoot me a
Okay.
DM, and then
All
I'll
right.
send you the
Appreciate
link.
it. Take care. All right. Okay.
No worries, man. Thanks, Brian. I'll talk to you. Bye-bye. All right, so let me see here. So Coach Brown said, "Do you recommend playing club in high school at the same time?" High school? No, do not play high school soccer. Let me rephrase that. If you're serious, don't waste your time playing high school soccer. It's a joke. It's not designed to help you. It's designed to, you know. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. High school soccer is looked at by Division I college coaches as a joke. Like they go, um, how do I phrase this to you? They go, if you play high school soccer, then how do I phrase that? I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. Let me rephrase it. I have a very good friend of mine that coached Division I college for 15 years, and he said, if you ever tell a Division I college coach that you play high school, they're going to cut you from their list immediately because then you are not serious. I hope that answers your question. So glad to hear you say that the clubs are not going to promote our kids and that it's our responsibility to do that. We've experienced such negativity from the clubs and the coaches when they find out one of their child is looking to play at a much higher level. They even bring the parents into the situation where it becomes even more toxic. Yeah, I mean, again, that's why I always say, like, the system is not designed to promote growth and development and to help kids get to the next step. Like, it's not designed to do that. Like, if they were, like, here's a different way to look at it. There are clubs that have like UPSL teams or USL teams, and how many of those clubs are taking their young kids and bringing them up to that? They're not. Like, why do you think they're doing that? Because they don't care about your kids. Like, I'll phrase it to you this way. If you have an organization that has over 1,000 kids, and it could even be less than this, I just picked 1,000 for a simple number. Do you think that your child is a priority to them? Like, are you a VIP? And the answer would be no. You're just a monetary sign to them. It's all about numbers at that point. You're a number. What's your opinion? Is it okay for boys to play 3 times a week in the academy club and then plus extra 2 match for school team and also enroll him for swimming team and taekwondo lessons so far he can cope with? I mean, I can't tell you specifically about your child. I can like give you a recommendation of what I would do. I do think it's good for him to do things like taekwondo, and that's something that I wish I did. In fact, I should probably put that in the playbook because that helps develop like internal what's the word I'm looking for? Like development, internal determination, internal drive, responsibility, dedication, commitment, and responsibility. So I think it's great. But now the academy. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, hey, add. How do I say this? Addy kicking it. Let's do a live call. I would love to answer that question. That's a really good question. What should you look for when you're looking for private trainers? So let's do a live call. I'm going to invite you in right now. I think that would be a great thing to talk about. So I just invited you. Hopefully you join. We can do this. What made it worse, it also is all the private lessons that these big clubs guarantee their coaches. It moves a coach from building a relationship and supporting the player to where it's just completely about money. You're exactly right. I mean, the whole thing's about money, bro. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, the whole thing is about money. It's all about money. And like what people don't realize is, let's say your son played for a cash cow or your daughter. You can always go back to a cash cow. They will always take your money. Like they don't care. Like they will, you come back and say, hey, it's September. Hey, we made a mistake. We didn't like where we were at or whatever. Dude, the cash cow will take your money, accept you, probably put you on the same damn team. And it's just a joke. All right, well, let me answer your question. I think, at least I'll try to do the best that I can based on your question. What should you look for when you're looking for private trainers? And this is why I wanted to bring you on a live to actually ask your question specifically, because that's a very open-ended question. A lot will have to do with their age and their skill level. So young kids, anything I would say, again, from a very generic standpoint question, would be, 12 and younger would all be skill work. And I'm not talking about like cone work, like, 2 cone patterns. I'm talking about like fundamental skill, developing skill, and people get lost in this stuff of doing cone work. And I'm like, dude, cone work is not where it's at, bro. Like I've seen kids growing up on cones, and then, and I'll quickly try to answer this the best way that I can. Like with cone work, what I've seen happen is the kids obviously develop better feet, but their heads are stuck down, and like they're looking at the floor. And then on the flip side of that, they don't know how to apply what they're learning to a game. So like I'm really big on teaching fundamental skills, some 1v1 skills, and then applying that in 1v1. Like I think that's critical for kids, because I don't think our kids do enough 1v1. That's how you develop creativity. So I hope that answers your question. Again, I try to be very generic based on your question, and it's hard not having somebody to conversate with, but I hope that helps a little bit. And let's see here. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. All right, so anybody else want to jump on the live? I'll do one more. I think it's great. I love helping people answer the questions. I mean, is it worth it to join the Best Academy? Need to lose everything outside match while being exclusive only to one club? By the way, the Academy is for free. Teresia 7. If you want to jump on a live, we can, and I can hopefully try and answer your questions. So let's see. Let me see if you'll come in. Let's see if you'll come in. Let's have this conversation. Good question. And then again, like it's hard to answer your question through a text like that, because it's not very descriptive. It's kind of like open-ended, and I don't want to give an open-ended answer. I want to be kind of clear. So that's what I'm going to at least try to do, is be clear. Good question. So come on, jump in. Let's do this. Who else wants to chat? Anybody else want to have a conversation? Who else has a question that I can answer? My man Hill Country keeps sending me invites. It's funny. I don't know why. What are the top 3 signs your son's playing for a cash cow program that isn't focused enough on player growth? Top 3 signs. They have more than 1,000 kids. Their trainings look like scrimmages. And the third one would be they have a bunch of badges. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Like when I say badges, like they have MLS Next, ECNL, all that kind of stuff. So like, I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, I mean, those would be the 3 primary things for me. I mean, they have a ton of kids. That's a cash cow. They have, what was my second one I said? Oh, the practices look like scrimmages. I mean, that's a cash cow. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about the development of them. And then 3 would be that they have a bunch of badges. So they have the ECNLs, they have the MLS Next, they have the NALs, they have the National League, all those ones that, they all talk about exposure. I mean, that's what it looks like. Hooker Twins, do you offer sessions for out-of-state players? Saw your team play at the Futsal Nationals. We were very impressed. Great job. Thank you. I mean, again, we're not perfect. We try and focus on development. We're actually after the tournament, we're going to be doing some restructuring because, we need to push them to get to the next level. And the only way to do that is by restructuring. So that's what we're going to be doing this next. So we're going to, I think we did okay overall for the tournament. There's some stuff that we took away. And I think for a lot of people, and I'm glad you actually brought this up, we're very, very big on bringing our kids. So at that tournament, this is my opinion, maybe not everybody else. To me, 95.6% of the teams there just pluck players, just take the best players and bring them. Under my program prospects, we always bring our kids. And we want to see how we do against the best. So there's one or two other programs that I saw bring their own kids, which is great. I love that. But almost everybody else just picks the best kids and brings them to play. And I don't blame them for that, because then they're probably going to have higher success of winning versus what we do, because I'm bringing the kids that I've had the entire year that play for my club, that play for prospects. And most people are just picking the best players possible, bringing them to the tournament and playing. And then it's actually funny because half the time when you do that, you don't actually even need to coach. You just say, hey, go out there and win the game, because they're good enough. You're bringing what we call a super team. You're bringing a super team to go win games. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. I'm just explaining the process. So we try and focus on development with our program, and we try to challenge. We try and challenge the players to their highest level. What league is your club in? We have players in UPSL, which are kids, or kids playing in UPSL, which is adult. And this past season we did EDP. So those were the two leagues that we did primarily. It was EDP and UPSL. So not a huge fan of that, but that is what it is. All right, anybody else want to jump on this live, man, that have a conversation that I can answer their any questions about your kids? I'll be happy to do that. Best way to network with colleges, thanks. Contact them. How else are you going to network with them? If you don't contact them, they don't know who you are. And I recommend, I think your name is Cortez, get my online course for free in my bio link. Go there right after this today. Go get it 100% free, or don't. And then, you're not going to learn anything, but I would if I were you. Do you have a 2013 team in the EDP this fall season? We would love to play you guys. Let's see. Do we have a 2013 team? No, we don't. I do not have a 2013 team. I do not do that. We should have 2015s. We will have 2014s, probably 2011, and 2008s, and adults, which is really just kids. But EDP or FSPL. Man, to be honest, I'm not a fan of either one of them at all. Too much travel for a joke of a league. Those are my opinion. You may not agree, that's okay. But those are my opinions about it. Honestly, I think the best format is to do scrimmages and tournaments. And then once you get to 15 years old, play adults. That's my opinion. And then you said, and to try your camp soon also. Yeah, we do actually have a free camp that we're doing. I believe it's next week, actually, for an hour and a half, where kids get to play for free. So yeah, if you guys want to jump in on that, I recommend you fill out the link. We're going to do some more stuff to get that ready. But yeah, we have a camp that's completely free next week. So if you want to train with me, I'll be there. I'll be there for an hour and a half. We'll train you. Your kid's going to get pushed. You don't have to pay anything. It's 100% free. And we'll be happy to push them. So anybody else want to jump? I'm going to do one more person if you want, guys. If you have any questions about your kid that I can answer, or about their process, or about development, or whatever, I'll be happy to do so. Let me know. Send me a comment down below, and I'll invite you in. Sorry, I didn't mean to pause that. So anybody else wanting to discuss their child's development? I'll be happy to do so, amigos. No problem for me. This is what I do. Any other parents have a question that I can answer for their children or about their children? It's been a long week, bro. Hi, Kyle. Made it to make. Let me know if this is the right time. I'm not sure what that means, Tordisa. What does that mean? I made it to make my son woke up. I let me know if this right time perhaps can speak to him now to get better encouragement. Are you saying you want to jump on the live? Is that what that means? And where's your club from? I'm in Orlando, bro. In Orlando, Florida. We in Orlando, baby. Orlando. Ay, ay, ay. Mr. Lucas, to the bane. To the bone, to the bane. To the bane. Lucas. My G-Wagon. Who else has a question, man? Who else has a question? Let's invite you in, Teresa. I just sent you an invitation. Let's see. So, hey, my G-Wagon.
Hello. Good morning, Singapore time. Thank you for accepting our request. So,
No problem. Can I see you too, ma'am? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I can see you. There you go. Perfect.
I'm Tika and
What
this
is your
is
name?
Christian. Okay.
All right, cool. So how can I help? Nice to meet you.
So, my son is start like 6-year-old until now plays in every like division 3, 2, 1 up, and his position is midfield and striker. But now we move to academy that offer school football and everything. But we see that when he start join there, it's lack of passion. It's not like in the normal league. He's the best out of it. He's fighting for the team. But now it's just like Tetterman low. And then every time we video every single match start 4 years old. And he don't want to take any advice from us because he thinks I'm the best, like I said earlier. And how to change the mind, because there is 1,000 million people, kids who play soccer that's much better than him. I just want, even I extra private training, double and everything, but it's just like no progress.
Okay.
9.
So how old is he?
Going 10 this April.
Okay. So who's your favorite player, bud? We'll pick somebody you like.
Sunny.
Like Son?
Okay.
From Tottenham.
Yeah. No, which one? Sunny.
That's who you said, right?
From Bayern.
I'm sorry, Sane. Okay, so would you say he's the best player in the world? Okay, so who do you think is the best player in the world?
Messi.
Okay, so why do you think I asked you that question? Okay, so your mom said that you think you're the best, right? Okay, so you told me that you really like Sane. He might not be your favorite player, but you really like him, right? Okay, but there's at least one person better than him, correct? And who is it?
Messi.
Messi. Okay, so the reason I'm saying that is, if you think about yourself, this is what I tell kids that say, they tell me, hey, I'm really good and blah, blah, blah. You're not really good until you sign a professional contract. Does it make sense? Because you can be really good for your age, but that will only last for a year or 2 years, 3 months, 2 months, 1 day, 6 hours, right? When you sign a professional contract, like let's say, who's your favorite team? Okay, that makes sense because you like something. Okay, so if you sign for Bayern, then you're good, but you're not the best still, because the best player is the guy that wins what?
Trophies.
The Ballon d'Or, right? Messi's won 7 Ballon d'Ors, right? That would be the best player. So you can be, and what is your name? I'm sorry. Christian. Okay, so you are the best player when you win a Ballon d'Or.
And he always play
sense?
one above age, always.
Good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. So that I mean, it sounds like you're doing a lot of good stuff, which is great. But you got to remember, like,
Yes.
you guys live in where? Singapore? Okay. So, like, I mean, think about it. Have you ever been to England before?
We
Yes.
are
Have you
from
been to Germany
Germany.
before?
Also.
Okay. Have
No.
What?
you been to
Spain.
Spain before?
No.
France? England? I already said England. Italy? Okay. So you don't even know all these
Yeah.
other countries. You've been to Germany, right? But you haven't been to England. You haven't been to France. You haven't been to Italy. You haven't been to Spain. Dude, there are unbelievable players in all these other countries, right? And then the other thing to think about, Christian, is even if you, let's use a hypothetical situation. Let's say you are the best player at your age. Are you being? Do they
No.
pay you to play yet? No. So you don't have a professional contract. So what you do now is irrelevant. What matters is if you get to 15. Let me rephrase it this way: if you're 15 years old or 16 years old and you're a professional, then you're actually really good. But until then, you're working to get to that point.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Does it make sense? So like, you're 9 years old. The goal for you should be, hey, when I'm 16, I'm a professional player playing for Bayern or for Arsenal or for Chelsea or for Real Madrid or something like that, as an example. Then you're really good. Anything before that doesn't matter because it's all a process to get to that point. Right? Think about Messi. He played his first professional game at 16 years old.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Right? So anything that you're doing now is trying to get to that point. So anything before that is irrelevant. It doesn't matter how good you think you are. I mean, I think it's important for you to think that you're good, but then when you're on the field, you have to then go show that you're good.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Like you know who Zlatan is, right? Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Okay, he's a very good example. He always talks about how
Yeah.
good he
This
is.
is I'm
Right?
Zlatan.
You agree? You know, but you know what he does, right? Do you know what he does when he plays?
Not really.
He shows it. He's the best player. So my point is, your mom's telling me that you think you're the best. Do you think you're the best? Okay, so then that means every single time that you play from right now until you're a professional, and even after that, you need to be the best player on the field. Every time. Otherwise, if you are not the best player on the field, you are not the best.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? So, like, think about, like, when was your last
On
game?
Sunday. On Sunday.
Sunday. Okay. Were you the best player on the field? No, honestly, yes or no? It don't matter to me, but yes or no?
Not really.
Okay. Let me
No.
ask your mom. Mom, was he the
In the
best player on the
first
field?
match, 4 times, the other kids who 8-year-old scored 4 goals during the elimination, and then he cannot make it, and then fail for 4 times for shooting to the goal, and then the second match until we fight from above that you need to show, and then he starts shooting the goal and 4 goal. It's just like we need to push so much while we know this is your passion. You want to become a football player, and we as a parent will take every single route what you want. But the thing is, I don't know if maybe it's just because 9-year-old boy thinking, or is this really what he want? Because when the time we push support, he just doesn't care what we say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you got to understand it's hard, right? Your mom and your dad, it's hard. So like, what I would recommend for you guys, for mom and dad, is like, just help support him. He like at the end of the day, you have to remember it's his dream,
It is.
not your dream, right? So it's hard. Trust me, I get it. It's very hard because I have this conversation with parents all the time. I'm like, look, like you can want to help your son or your daughter or whoever it is, but like at the end of the day, it's Christian's dream. It's his dream to be a professional, not yours. So like, you can give him like reminders and stuff, but if you have to force him, he's not going to listen because your mom, your dad. So like, the point is like you said like, oh, he missed 4 goals. All the best players miss goals. Happens all the time. So like, don't hold that against him because you can fix those things. Those are fixable. When you miss stuff, you can fix it. If he didn't take the shot, that's a problem. The one thing that I would tell you to like, again, I'm not a parent, right? But if I was a parent, the one thing that I would make sure that my child does is effort. Is he giving 100% effort? If he's not, then absolutely I would chew him out. So like if Christian was my son and he's playing in a game and I think he's giving 70% effort as an example, I would rip him immediately. Immediately. If you miss a goal or you miss a pass or whatever, no problem. Okay, you make mistakes. But the effort for me is a complete non-negotiable. Completely.
Yeah.
So, but again, for Christian, for you, right? So like, you just told me, hey, listen, I think I'm the best player. But then you just told me that you said, oh, I wasn't the best player on Sunday.
It's the ego.
Because there were like 2 players also. There were like also
Sorry?
like other 2 players that played good.
Good. Yeah, but you told me you are the best player. Right? So then, again, when you're at practice and you're at games, you need to be the best player. There can be other good players, like don't get me wrong, but everybody should be like, hey, who is this kid? Who is this Christian kid? Wow, he's amazing. You see what I'm saying? Like you should have people coming up to you and being like, hey, who are you? What do you do? Where do you play? How did you get so good? That means people are noticing you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so let's say on Sunday you had a game and you scored 2 goals or got 2 assists or dribbled 3 people or whatever. And then a parent comes up to you and goes, parent and a kid or whatever. Hey, who are you? What is your name? Where do you play? How did you get so good? Then people are noticing you and then you actually
we got that mostly. And then even the parents compare that my son cannot do like position like Christian. When my son moved to midfield, but Christian, but that's the thing. It's too much over in his head that he stopped. Like now we're on holiday, he even doesn't want to go down just like a ball mastery or juggling or something. The juggling part is not yet there. So I don't know, I'm as a parent, we push, we support, but if you're not really so, I said, if on 12 years old until 14 is your last chance, we as parents will support you. You want to go to school academy in Europa or something, we will support. But if there is no scout looking at you that you're good enough on 12, 13-year-old, then it's done. You go back to the normal job like your father, I said. There's no point, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't say there's no point, but because you got to understand there's also late bloomers, right? So there's kids that develop later. So it's like again, the thing for me would be, is he putting in the work? If he's showing you, like, let's say he gets to 12 years old and he wants to be on the PlayStation, if that makes sense. Just giving an example, just an example. So let's say he wants to be on the PlayStation, then I'd be like, hey, I'm not going to support you because you're not showing me as a parent. So if I'm you and Christian's my son and I go, Christian, hey, you told me you want to be a professional. Okay, so show me that. You need to be practicing at home. You need to be learning. You need to be studying. You need, like, here's the thing, Christian. If you want to be a professional, every single day you need to be doing something that brings you closer to your goal. That doesn't mean you have to go outside and practice, but you should be watching games. You should be watching YouTube, watching Messi or watching Sane and doing things like that. So you're studying.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It doesn't always have to be outside practicing. I mean, I think that's very important too, but there are different ways to practice soccer or football without practicing outside. But I mean, of course, I think practicing outside is one of the best things you can do, but there's ways to practice without practicing outside.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I hope that helps. I mean, I can send you, if you shoot me a DM, I can send you a link that has my playbook and you can read the whole thing. And I think that'll help give you some tips on how you guys can better navigate the, development and his process and all that stuff. Yeah, no problem at all. Just trying to help.
For all the player and so and so.
Yeah.
In here is a lot of
no problem at all.
Like, that's why we follow you, because whatever you say about the Cash Cow Club and everything, it's really real. Mostly in here, it's really real. We paid before from the league and so, it's just like 3,000 per 3 months. I have 3 kids. I put them,
Wow.
it's just like 9,000 per term. And then at the moment, only 2 survive. I have 11-year-old girl and then 9-year. But it is really
Wow.
cash cow. By the time the team doesn't need you, and they just kick you. Even you are fighting for 2 teams in the league, you coming 2 teams match, but when they don't like you, they kick you out. It's really difficult. It's really difficult.
It's hard, isn't it? Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, no, I get it. It's hard. And you know, the other thing too is like even if he doesn't become a professional, there's always like in the US we have college. Like he can go get a college scholarship as an international. As an international student, it's way easier to get a college scholarship than a American player. So there's always a plan B. But I mean, if he wants to be a pro, you got to try and be a pro first, obviously. You can always go to college and get an education, but to be a pro, you got one shot.
Anything you want to ask question before
So,
anything?
No, I don't
any other
know.
questions? That's okay. Well, you can shoot
I
me a
will.
DM,
Thank
no
you
problem, and then
so
I
much.
can help out anyway.
Appreciate.
Yeah,
Bye.
no problem. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Bye bye. Okay, let's see. Yeah. We had to move my kid to a Spanish academy. Truly, soccer in US said, I mean, US soccer is terrible. Same deal. My son completely just came out of his shell 30 almost when we lost all hope. Yeah, it happens. So I was taking it back to 13. So I'm trying to catch up with the comments. It's hard, man. Again, I'm not a parent, so I can't directly answer what to do and whatnot, but I can only give you my perspective of what I would do, knowing what I know right now. So hello, U13 Suns are almost next cash cow in South Florida. That's a good question. So, Gian, do you want to jump on the live and we can have a conversation about it? I would love to. I think that'd be a good conversation to invite on. So if you want to do that, let's do it. Let me invite you in. Because again, I think there's more context that we can talk about versus just that. Let's see. Oh man, it's crazy. There's so many like little nitpick pieces about this, and it's crazy. I love America. I love America. So hold on, let's see. Jan, let me know if you want to jump on this live. I would love to answer your question. I think I can answer it better though if I have you in person versus. My bad. Somebody sent me a text message. All right, let's see. Hold on. We're gonna solve this problem right now. Where are they? Let's try again. Invite. So come on, Gian, jump in this call. Let me answer your question, and I'll do the best I can to answer it. I'll give you my honest opinion. You need to host a TED Talk. Hey, get them to call me, and I'll jump on a TED Talk. I actually had 2 people reach out to me with some pretty big podcasts, and like, oh, you should do it. And I'm like, if you guys want me to jump on a podcast, all I'm going to do is just give, like, what people don't understand is like, I'm just trying to give my perspective of what I see. You may not agree with me, and that's perfectly fine and okay. Like, no problem. Like, it's not going to hurt my feelings. I've been through the whole system. I played at every single level. I can't all day about it. So I'm trying to get Gian in here. Let's see if we can make this happen. Said she was unable to join, or he was unable to join. I'm sorry. I don't know if I don't have all the details. Hold on. She was still sending me invitations to join. This is very frustrating. All right, let's try again. I see you there. Invite one more time. Invited. Hold on. We're trying to get this person on the live. Vamos nessa. Ay. Ding, ding. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what other questions I can answer for anybody? So hopefully we can get, Gianni, I think that's how you say the name, Giannina. Come on, Giannina. I think I said that correctly. I want to answer your question. It says unable to join. Okay, leave the live and come back, and then hopefully we can get that answer. Do you?
Hey, Kyle.
Oh, there we go.
All good. Good, man. How are you?
Hey, tudo bem?
My name is Rob. I'm actually
Good.
using
What's your
my
name,
wife's
sir?
account, but hey, nice to meet you too.
Okay, cool. Rob, nice to meet you. So walk me through your question, man. Let me try and answer this as honest as I can. So you have a U13 son,
He's
right? So he's
11.
12.
Yeah.
Playing for a cash cow. Love it. I love the cash cow. And then, is it wrong to think that he will be playing against the best possible competition in the area and get exposure to freedom? Okay, so can you expand on that? You don't have to tell me the name of the program. That's fine. I'm assuming you have to pay a good fee for
That's
that,
right.
right? That's not free. That is
Yeah,
scholarship.
the fee is, you know, basically the average, what I've seen around South Florida. It's not cheap, plus tournaments and whatnot. But the idea is that he was at an academy that was a bit
Yeah.
cheaper. Yeah, I could say he was probably the best on the team. He stands out. He had a bunch of offers in the area, and his goal is to go pro, and he wants to play against the best of the best. That's what he wants to do. And at the other academy, unfortunately, he wasn't. And at the other academy, you know, there wasn't as much seriousness amongst his teammates as he takes it. I mean, he's practicing every day. He's the kid who's going backyard every day. He's watching YouTube videos, Vinicius, everything, like freakishly.
That's
So I just wanted to put him into a
Yeah.
position where he could play with people who are as serious as he is. And, you know, and the goal would be obviously to get to that free MLS Academy. And obviously they'll be playing against that free MLS Academy. So that was the rationale behind it. Knowing though that like everything you said about tryouts was identical. It was just scrimmage. That's all it was.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're just trying to evaluate kids and pick up as many as they can. So, I mean, I don't think what you're doing is bad in terms of, hey, playing against the best. What I can tell you is, again, my opinion, it may help you, it may not, is I've had kids that have, like, I'm a smaller program, right? I've had kids that have left me, gone to MLS Academy, MLS Next Academy, same type of deal. And I've asked them the question, and I'm like, hey, do you feel like it was worth it for you? And they're like, well, the only thing that was worth it was we got to play Orlando City Academy and Inter Miami Academy. But that was it. They're like, the training was terrible. The other games were not high level, except for those two games, obviously, because you're playing against the real deal. But does Inter Miami have a MLS
Yeah, they start at,
Academy at
I
under
think
13s?
they start with U12s.
Okay. So, I mean, you're talking about getting one game. I can't tell you if you're going to get evaluated or not. I mean, I don't know if he's already on their radar or not. I mean, he might not be. He might be. I don't know. And then he'd have to be a standout in terms of, is he
He
the
likes
best
left
player?
wing.
What position does he play? Left wing. So, I mean, to be honest with you, like, I'm not great friends with the academy director at Orlando City, but they're looking at, I do know him very well, but they're looking at
They
5,000 to 10,000
they
kids a
took one
year.
kid from his age group
So,
this year, Orlando City.
yeah. Yeah. So, and they come and they take kids from Miami all the time just because they think the levels there is better. So, but like at the same time, like, let's say your son doesn't make. Well, let me rephrase that question first. How's
Well,
the
we'll be
training?
starting there this year, so I'm not really sure.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, that for me, because I don't know your son at all. I think the most important thing would be training because, if he's not going to make, and I don't know if he will or not, but let's just assume he doesn't make an academy at Inter Miami or Orlando City, then playing at MLS Next, in my opinion, is just a waste of time because it's not about development. They put you in a link that you get all this other stuff, which is great. But then my plan, and I put this in my playbook, I don't know if you've read it yet or not, but my plan would be, okay, develop him when he gets to 15 adults. Because I talked to the Orlando City Academy director, his name is Javier, and me and him were going back and forth about this, just in terms of dialogue. And he told me, like, I asked him, I said, listen, when you want to recruit a kid, what do you want? He's like, well, we need to make sure that they can handle mentally at the level. So he's like, we look to recruit guys that are playing out of their comfort zone. So I'm paraphrasing the conversation, so I'm just giving you what he told me and whatnot. But basically, like, their U17s at Orlando City Academy, they play MLS Next, but then they also play top U19 and UPSL. So what does that tell me? They want to take players that are playing above their age group and are being pushed. So, like, we took all of our kids that are 07s and 06s, they're mostly 07s, and they're playing in the UPSL. Two of them right now are being evaluated by Orlando City Academy. Don't know if they're going to make it or not, but they have the potential to maybe get there. And the only reason why they're being looked at is because we're playing well above our age group. So, because again, if your son's going to go to Inter Miami or Orlando City, they have to believe that he has the potential. 1, 2, he has the talent, and 3, he can handle the mental pressure of playing for an academy. And those are the hardest things. So, I think you can leave him in that, but the other things you could also look at, it doesn't have to be now, but just in the future, is I think you can replicate it because he's a 2011, right? Okay. So as an example, I have a 2010, very, very good technically, very good skill, very, very small, but athletic. So he plays 2 years up, and he's a starter on my 2018. So he's playing 2 years up. He's playing against big boys. They push him very hard physically. And I think for his development, because he was actually a kid that was with me for 3 years. He left. He went to one of the Orlando City franchises that had MLS Next. They came back and was like, training was terrible. The games were terrible. The only good game was playing against Inter Miami. Otherwise, it was just a wash. So he came back, and I said, listen, when you come back, we'll push him to play 08. So now he's playing 08, and he plays there full time, and he's getting pushed. So again, there's no right or wrong answer. I don't know if that helps you in any way. I hope it gives you at least food for
It is,
thought
because
to
I mean,
think about.
at the other end of the spectrum as well, there's a lot of haterism on these academies as well. I mean, like, I understand what you're saying is completely valid in terms of, you know, the whole cash cow thing, because it's true. But at the same time, I think people who or academies that aren't in it kind of do it all the time, you
Yeah.
know. So so it's kind of very difficult to really analyze it objectively, because you know,
Yeah, it is.
it's not that straightforward.
No, it's not. Yeah. Well, and I always
Right.
say the system is not designed to bring success. Because, like, I mean, really, the thing is, like, if the training is not good for your son, you might get one or two good, like,
First.
is this his second year playing MLS Next or first year? Okay. So you're going to see, I mean, the level might not be as good as you think it, and I might be wrong. You might think it's great. I don't know. I mean, I can't answer that question for you. I don't know your son's level. So, I mean, what I would do is probably take the first 3 months, you know, really evaluate, one, the training, two, evaluate the level and see how he's progressing with it. If he's being pushed, then leave him. If you don't think he's being pushed, then that might be something you need to reconsider and look at
All right.
different avenues. So it's hard because, like, you haven't seen the training, you don't know what it's going to
Okay.
look like. So it's just a lot of it's a good question, man, because it's hard. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. There's just what is the best practice.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know your son. I've never seen your son play. I don't know his level. I don't know what he looks like. I mean, if you want to send me a video, I can look at him and see, you know, if there's maybe more information I can give you later. That might be possible, but there's no right or wrong answer. There's just always, you know, what path can I take? There's multiple. You can play your age group. You
He
can play up. I
has
mean, do
been
you think
playing
he
up.
can
At his
handle
previous
playing up?
academy, played up 2 years.
Good. Yeah. No, see, that's a good thing. But again, again, I don't know the level they were playing at. They might not. They might
Well,
not
at
have been
his,
playing at a good
they
level.
were playing in gold categories and tournaments. So at that level, they were
Yeah.
fine. Probably at the older ones, I would probably say maybe silverish. So, but still, I mean, they were bigger
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
You know, they're faster kids, and he could hang definitely,
Mhm.
and he could excel at that age.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, that's the thing. Like, it just depends. Like, long-term play is like, okay, if he wants to go to college or pro, he has to be able to handle that type of environment. So that's why my recommendation is if the kids don't make MLS academies, which most aren't, because they're only going to take 30 kids at most. Most take 26 to 28. And then basically what people don't understand is they're picking kids on positions. So, like, here's a perfect example. One of the kids that we have on our 17s, he was actually invited in for a trial. He was there for a month. They called and they're like, look, for us, he plays right wing, so he plays a 7. And Orlando City brought him in, and they're like, look, we think he's going to be a right back. And I'm like, okay, if you think he's going to be a right back, play him a right back. I don't know. But they saw him, and they're like, look, we think the best position for him is this. So, you know, they're picking players based on positional needs. They're not picking players because they're good players. At 15 and 17, they're picking kids based on their positions and what they think they need and how they can develop the kid in that position. So it's hard, man. It's a good question. It's an open-ended. But give me your feedback. You know,
I'll
afterwards,
swing
like,
back
in 3 months, let me know
and
how it
let you
goes.
know
I'm
what I
curious.
think. It's
Yeah.
not easy, and it was you know, just leaving a team, and
It's
you know,
not.
he was at his team for 5 years, and just leaving it's tough.
Yeah. No, I get it. But, you know, keep me updated. I'm curious because then, you know, again, that might
All
change
right,
my
well, thanks,
answer
man. I
or
appreciate it.
perspective.
Bye bye.
Yeah, no worries, bro. I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Bye. All right, let's see. Any other questions? Somebody asked a question. Save your money and send it to Europe. Yeah, if you can get to Europe, definitely the best way to go. I always tell people to go to Europe. All right, let's see. How do I fix this? I don't remember how to do all this. It's been a minute since I've done a live. Um, there we go. Done. Okay. So let me see if there's any other questions I can answer real quick before I get off, because I've been on this for a little while. We can relate. Do you get a lot of criticism or feel you're discredited for speaking out against the horrible pay-to-play structure we have in the US? I mean, I do get a lot of negative feedback sometimes. I think that's, I mean, I don't know what the answer is for, but I mean, I'll keep doing what I'm doing because I just feel like it's the right thing to do. Like, again, like people don't understand. I was in the system. I grew up in it. I played in the DA when it first came out, and they promised a lot of stuff for people, and most people didn't get anything. But I think they're trying to put it as, hey, this is the best platform, and you know, MLS Next should be the best platform. But there's a reason why MLS clubs, I shouldn't say that. MLS Next clubs are leaving MLS Next and doing the NAL. There's a reason, because it's not consistent. That, you know, I don't know if that answers that point at least, but you know, those are my thoughts. So, any other questions from anybody that I can answer real quick before I jump off? Because I've been on this for a while and I'm getting tired, bro. It's been a long 6 days doing this tournament. So yeah, I will save this live so you guys can watch it back later, no problem. And remember, all my stuff is free. You can find it online, no problem. Grab it, get into it, and make it happen. If you want the playbook, send me a DM. I will, you know, let people have access to it and make it work. Anyways, guys, I'm leaving.